Hi guys, Asmo here, and today I want to show you how I make currency. If you are struggling with making currency currently in PoE2 and you think the league mechanic is unrewarding and there's no drops and you only found like 3 divines this league and you don't know what to do, this is the video for you. You're going to learn how exactly to make currency. I'm gonna teach you a lot of different things about setting yourself up to find more loot, how to recognize what's valuable, what to do with it, how I'm mapping, and basically I'm gonna teach you everything that I've been doing this league to make huge amounts of currency. I have a bunch of stuff that I farmed, but I'm gonna run one map as an example so that you can see what content I'm running, and then I'm gonna show you what I get from that and how I sell that. And what to sell is probably one of the most important things. But let's start with, I think, the number one reason why people don't make as much currency as they would like, and that is their actions, right? That is the fact that they are going to look for, what is the most, which of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 league mechanics is the most div per hour, right? And they try to find what is the most optimal strategy for div per hour and what's giving you the most currency. If you're going out of your way and looking for that, you're not gonna make as much currency as someone who just picks one and does it well and learns more about it and just keeps doing it and shuts the hell up and just farms it, right? That is gonna be the biggest difference, just efficiently mapping and actually killing monsters and actually getting loot, and not doing it for 5 maps or 3 maps or 15 maps, but doing it for 100 maps, right? Doing it consistently, doing things in bulk and being efficient with it. So my tree currently is not set up to farm currency. My tree is set up to farm experience. So I have the highest boss difficulty, I have everything to spawn more monsters, everything to give me more magic monsters instead of other things, right? I don't care about loot, I don't have map effect here that I'm scaling. I'm instead getting shrines with experience shrine and monster pack size and more magic monsters, because that's what I care about. I'm scaling more magic monsters and I'm scaling experience. When it comes to the tablets, okay, let's see, where are we at the atlas? So we're here. I'm just gonna grab a random map. This is gonna be just a regular basic map with powerful boss. We're gonna grab T16. Again, if your map can, if your build can run T15s, you can also run T16s. These maps, I am buying them for 25 exalts, and they pay for themselves extremely quickly, right? When you're doing higher tier maps like T16s, and also irradiation and also with +1 level area from other things, you're going to be dropping more level 20 skill gems, more level 20 spirit gems, which is hundreds of exalts. You're going to be dropping higher bases, which go for a lot of money, so it does pay for itself, and it is better to run higher tier map and then go out of your way to filter the mods, to do the easy mods for your build, to make them up something that you can actually do, and then get this loot and improve your character, then to do lower tier maps, but then don't care too much about the mods or whatever, right? The mods on the maps are super important. So even buying waystones is completely fine, but you can make currency just rolling them and selling them as well, right? But I'm just gonna run this T16 6 mod. I filter only the most damaging mods like multi-proj, penetration, minus max, and recovery rate. Those are the ones that I remove, but then everything else I don't really mind. My character is well equipped for that. And then for tablets, I'm not running anything for loot. I don't care about loot, right? So I'm running experience. Every single tablet has experience. They have also things like shrines and also monster effectiveness, because effectiveness also gives you XP as well as loot. So the monsters are gonna be tougher and they're gonna give you more XP. Again, I don't care about the loot, but I'm still gonna be getting good enough loot so that I can, today I'm gonna buy 100 something divine chest that I wanna upgrade, right? So let's look into how we're farming. First of all, you want to be efficient, right? So you don't want to spend too much time doing stuff that doesn't give you the most currency, right? So you want to make sure that you're moving quickly, that you're not overkilling. Everything adds up, right? Everything adds up. This is one of the things that players underestimate all of the time. Your movement in the map matters, right? The urgency with which you do things do things matters. Like using regex and setting up yourself so that you can quickly filter through the maps matters, right? Like the fact that I'm moving away from the box before like it finishes the animation and drops loot matters, right? This strong box, I click it, but I'm not gonna wait for it, right? It's just like a couple monsters I'm gonna kill on the way, but I know it's not gonna drop like relevant loot to me, right? So I'm gonna ignore it. What you wanna do is basically focus on the things that give you the most loot. If I see like a shrine, for example, next to the breach, I'm gonna pick up the shrine first so that I do the breach faster, right? I pick up the base. I'm gonna explain later like what bases I have on my filter. If you are subscribed to my Patreon, then you have the same loot filter as me, and it's gonna help you see all of the bases. If you are not using my loot filters from my Patreon, then look at this video. I'm gonna explain the bases that are valuable, and then you can just basically copy that and put them on your own loot filter, or you can look at what, for example, negative rarity farmers are putting on their filters and copy that, so that you know basically what bases are valuable. Unless you want to do your own research, you can do your own research too, right? You can go to PoE Ninja and see what items people are using, and then look for the most common archetypes that people are playing, look at their items, and then just try to figure out, okay, people are using a lot of let's say energy shield chests. What is the best energy shield chest? And that is gonna be Vile Regalia or something like that it's called. And then you're simply gonna put that on your loot filter. You're gonna see which item levels are valuable. So for that, minimum like item level 80, but item level 81 is slightly higher cost, and then item level 82 is where it starts getting really valuable, and you can just keep making good money on these item level 82 bases. But it does require you running the higher level maps, right? So running T16 maps, irradiating them, and then also making sure that you hunt all of these +1 to map modifiers, right? So we're gonna do the boss. The boss is probably gonna be a little tanky because we have like toughness and all of that shit. Plus this is this is the crazy boss that flies around. So let me get to her. There we go. And usually rare items, I don't really pick up that much of them anymore, but I pick up whatever shows with like high tiers. I have like good bases and good like high tiers still showing, and I ID them and drop them on the ground if it's nothing good. And if it has some potential, like this one I saw had +2 to melee skills, it's a very, very valuable modifier, so it can potentially be a valuable item. I didn't really see the other mods, but I don't want to like take my time and look through this item right now. I'm gonna drop it into the dump tab, and then later we're gonna deal with that in bulk. And the way I deal with items in bulk, I'm gonna show it later, allows me to basically be faster with everything, right? And not have to spend so much time. Okay, let me kill this guy because he's annoying me. Azure Amulet, cool. Kill this, pick up this. Spark's killing everything. And we got 24 monsters left. We're gonna leave the map, and that's it, right? So in this map, again, not much loot. This is nothing special, right? But we got things like, for example, item level 81 Magi Talisman. This is right now going for like 9 exalts, right? They're selling for 9 exalts, and that is basically nothing, right? Item level 81 Staves are selling for like 2 chaos, so there's like 6 exalts, right? So that is each one of these. This later I could like spam something. We got triple damage on this, so we got triple damage with some res, +2 of melee skills and energy shields. So we have one for 5 divines listed. That is similar. I'm gonna list this one for like, I think it's not worth that much. I think 3 divines maybe. So that's how quickly you wanna do this, right? You wanna get to the point where you can just like look at an item, do something to it, and quickly price check it and quickly list it. This is gonna come with experience. This is gonna come with just doing that, right? So that's how I'm mapping. That's how I set up my loot filter, right? If you are interested in this filter, these are the filters that I have on my Patreon, different leveling archetypes, then like semi-strict mapping, and then strict, very strict, and then very strict 1.2. That's the newest one that I'm using right now. All of them are available there, but you can just make your own loot filter and just pay attention. Okay, we sold something for 99. exalts. I'm gonna remove these exalts from here for now so we get a fresh start, and I'll show you how I liquidate the loot. So selling items is how you are actually making money, right? So number one, you have to farm stuff, and number two, you have to actually sell it. So the way to sell things, there is like multiple different things you're doing, right? So number one, you have the dump tabs. These are the dump tabs from today, and I think maybe a little bit yesterday. I don't know. This is maybe like few hours of mapping and picking up the good bases, and there is a lot of good stuff here. If you look at, I type normal, these are normal items. These are white items, white bases, okay? These are white bases, but these are very valuable. If I type, for example, normal and then 82, this is gonna show the 82 bases, right? So I can go, for example, and get, for example, talisman, okay? So these are item level 82 talismans, okay? I'm gonna dump them. I'm gonna grab another tab. I'm just gonna dump them here for a moment because they're like all kinds of different types. So I'm gonna grab them just for like quicker price checking, because again, there's gonna be a lot of the same ones. So if we price check one of a certain type, then we're gonna know the price for all, right? So we have the Magi's, we have the fungal ones, we have the ash bark, and we have the jade, right? And we have also the spiny. So we basically price check one at a time and then put them all in our Ange. For Ange, I recommend having, I don't know, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tabs. I think like 5 is enough for selling everything. So let's start with the basis, right? I'm just gonna do this as an example. I'm not gonna do every single item, but I'm gonna show you some examples so that you know exactly like how that works, right? So let me actually, okay, so I made the camera a little smaller so you can see what I'm typing here as well. Let's try Magi Talisman, and this is item level 82. This sells for up to 30 exalts. So let's say we want to list them for 28. The way I would do this is I would go here, I would type 28 exalts and then right click the rest. They automatically go in at the last listed price, right? Then we go for fungal talisman. These are for like 7 exalts or 6 exalts, so we can grab them. I think they're all 82, right? Yeah. So we can do this. Control Alt click on Ange automatically opens the merchant. So again, these were like 6 exalts or something. So picking this up is much better than picking exalts from the ground, right? Because you get so much more currency. Jade Talisman, 82. This one is like 23 exalts. So again, we're gonna list for 22. So we're gonna sell quickly. Spiny Talisman, these are 20. So let's say list them for 19. So we can do this, 19. And then the Ash Bark Talisman is going to be 4 exalts. So we're just gonna do that, 4 exalts, boom. So this is gonna be just a bunch of money coming soon. Other things that sell, let me just give you some more examples. So if I look at bow 82, normal, let's see if I have any 82s. So we have Obliterator 82. We have Siege Crossbows 82 as well. So Siege Crossbows go for right now 8 exalts. So we can sell them for like 7, let's say. So we can do this, 7x. Obliterator Bow 82 sells for like a 14 chaos. So that is like 43 exalts. So I can list for 14 chaos. Doesn't really matter. Just whatever works for you, whatever price, whatever currency is like popular, and whatever you want is good. So bows sell things like quivers, right? So we have quivers. If we go quiver, normal 82, but like even if I find 80, let's see if I have 80. I don't think I have, mostly 81, right, bases, because I'm doing like higher level areas, only T16s. So 81 quivers. These are for 18 exalts, maybe 17 if we want to sell in bulk. So we just go 17 exalts, change to exalts, right? Exalts, not chaos, right? I'm correct. Yeah, you want to make sure you get the right one, because chaos is worth significantly more now. And you can still right click them even if you closed Ange. because it remembers the last price you set, right? So you can do this relatively quickly. And look at this, these are all 17 exalts, and we have a whole bunch of them, right? So you can farm currency really quickly if you just pay attention, right? And set up a right loot filter and just pick up white bases from higher tier maps. And you don't need rarity. Actually, the less rarity you have, the more of these bases you're going to find. So that's the crazy part, right? People are like crying and complaining, oh my god, I need rarity, and otherwise I can't find loot. I have 66% rarity, so that's a decent amount. It's gonna give me some more currency, some more unique, some more rare items, and so on. But I actually, like, it's really good to have no rarity at all, right? Because you get these white bases, right? Another thing that sells is like Vile Robe. So if we do Vile 82, let's see if we got any 82s. We got some 82s. So this one is for 7 chaos, so that's 21 exalts. So we can list them, for example, for 20 exalties. So that's another thing we can sell. Then we have things like staves. Staves sell as well if they are 81. So if we do 81 stuff, and then let's say I do chiming, okay? So let's say we do chiming stuff, you can grab a lot of them. And another thing you can look at as well with the staffs is the level of the skill. For some of these it matters. So for Sigil of Power on these it actually matters if you get like level 20 because people want the max amount of damage. I don't know if level 19 gives you more currency, like people pay more for it. The Reap as well, that's another thing that sells a lot if you get level 20 Reap. But let's see, is there a level 20? No. Is there a level 19? There is a couple. So does it matter? Let's see. We can check. If I go to this screen real quick, we go to trade, we open the trade website and we look at this 19. Let's see if it matters. 4 chaos, 5 chaos. Okay, so you can get 5 chaos for level 19s, and then if we don't care about the level, just regular 81, also about the same. So it seems like you need level 20, I think, in order for this. So you can list them for like 11 chaos or something like that. So we can just grab a bunch of them. We can grab another tab, list them for 11 chaos, and they sell. I've been doing this for a few days and things sell very consistently. You just need to make sure to price things competitively so that people actually see your items. And each of these is gonna be like 11 chaos, and that's a huge amount of money, right? Like if you can just like manufacture that by just running maps without rarity, just like kill monsters, you're gonna get white bases. Like it's unavoidable. You will get these. What else? There is also like gold amulets. Let me just quickly go through these without pricing anything. So we got boots. There is like Sekama's boots. Where are they? I don't think I have any, but Sekama's boots, like boots that are like item level 82. So like let's say 82 boots, normal. Let's see if we have any. Okay, we have some. So we have like the Salian Graves, we have Daggerfoot shoes, we have a lot of Daggerfoot shoes. So let's see if the Daggerfoot shoes are worth anything. They are worth 18 exalts. So that's another base that we can just do. Let's say 17, sell all of these, and then these, the Salian Greaves, 82. They're very cheap. I should probably remove them from my filter. Oh, these are actually like high base. These are like 28 quality, but these basic ones just not really worth picking up anymore, I guess, unless you want like a couple exalts. Amulets, like for example rarity amulets and rarity rings. So if we look at gold rings, 81, they're like 12 exalts. That's another thing you can pick up. Gold amulets, these are worth as well like 8 chaos, so that's like 20 exalts for gold amulets, especially if you get like high rarity. So gold amulet, let's see, this is like 12. What else do we have? 18. So if you get like really high rolls on these, you get like 20 max roll, you can get even more money, right? It's like a premium product that you're selling to people that people actually do care about. Same with the rings. What else is there? The staves, the boots, there's things like ancestral tiaras, right? So what you're basically looking for is the highest basis of popular types. So if a lot of people are playing energy shield helmets, then you want ancestral tiaras. Item level 81, that sells for like 3 chaos, which is 9.2 exalts, right? So you could list them for 9x. So if you do tiara normal 81, right? So we can pick up all of these. It's gonna be probably a lot. And how much did I say it was worth? Like 9 exalts, right? So if we go to manage shop, we go to bases, and we type 9 exalts, we can just dump them, get some more of them. Get some more of them. There we go. And usually you want to keep these bases next to each other so that people, when they are buying them, they see you have one and they see, oh, you have more. I'm going to buy all of them. So they often buy all of them, right? And then you just like right click some exalties into your stash and then you just get a bunch of exalts. So that's the number one thing, the bases. Now, what do you do with rare items? With rare items, the way I go about it is I group them by type. So I type, for example, let's say ring, right? I type ring, and let's say I go rare, right? Let's say I want to go already with rare rings. So I'm going to pick up all of these rings and see if I have something worthwhile. And if not, I'm gonna just toss it to the trash, right? But a lot of the time you can craft on them, you can improve them, and you can make a huge amount of money. You can just like make multi-divine items just by randomly slamming on stuff that is already pretty good. So what you wanna do is I open Doriani, and when I see trash, I sell it to Doriani immediately, right? So this is pretty trash. This has some potential. I wish you could disable these notifications because you see people are spam buying this stuff, right? These things are all selling. Like if you put a lot of these bases after a farming session, you're just gonna get spammed with these notifications of people giving you money. But I wish you could actually disable it because it's just sometimes I have so many things. It's like I can't put any more because this part of the screen is occupied. So I wish you could disable that. If anybody knows how to disable that, let me know in the comments below. So let's see, there was one good, so this one is good, we leave it for later. This one is like, not really a fan, but I can try slamming it. If something is like low value, you just exalt slam, right? Like if something is like, this would really need something really good, it's a low chance, I'm gonna slam just regular exalts, right? Because it's like low chance, so I don't want to invest a lot into this. This one is interesting. This one is pretty trash. This one is very interesting as well. The cast speed is like counterproductive, but everything else is pretty good on this. We can sell this one. And sometimes you're gonna make mistakes, right? Maybe you're gonna see me selling a ring to the vendor that is really good, and maybe I lose some money on this, but don't worry about it, right? Like you will find more items. Like you should just basically move on, right? Move on and just like go through the stuff and see what's good. So let's see, for example, this ring, we can get additional prefix. So if we could get like 3rd damage modifier on this, that could be maybe good because it has chaos res and additional res and an attribute. So it could be decent. But I think right now, what is this ring also? But I think right now, the stuff for crafting got really expensive. Let's see, is it really expensive? 36 exalts. I think it could be worth trying. Okay, 37 exalts or 38. These people are buying them like hot buns. Okay, so we can try putting something decent on this. Again, this is not, it's not gonna be a huge ring, so I'm not gonna invest like ancient bone, I'm not gonna do abyssal echoes, but you could do that. But I think it's worth trying if we can get another damage roll on this. Unfortunately, we didn't get a damage roll, so we can only get the cold, and that's fine. Sometimes another thing I recommend, have all of your tabs priced. You can see how someone is messaging me for this item for 19 exalts, right? I'm gonna check the ring in a second, but 19 exalts. They're messaging me for, what is it called? It's called Sakhal's Rune of the Sky, right? So if we type Sky, that's this one, damage of all elements. And this one is actually worth more than 19, I think. This one is worth like 40. So another trick, if you wanna sell something immediately, because let's say you have like full merchant for currency exchange and you need to liquidate things, or you want the money right now, then list for whatever it says here. If you want more money, list for the competing trade, right? So right now, people are selling it for 40. I can sell it for 39 and still be cheapest on the market instead of just getting 34. So I will put 39 instead and get more money, right? Instead of getting 34, I'm gonna get 39. And that way, I can wait a little bit, and it's probably not going to be very long, and I'm going to get more currency. So that's how you want to actually use the currency exchange. Sometimes, and there we go, right? So I get extra 5k for free. Sometimes you're going to have items that on the currency exchange sell for, let's say, what's a good example? Probably these things, right? These items. I remember selling, I think, okay, Eyelith Chimes. If we look at this, the price is right now 4. Right, I can list it. I can list 4 for 16, and I can sell them for that. Right, I can sell them for 4 exalted orbs each. But because I have this tab priced, sometimes people message me and they buy it for 20 because they don't know they can search in the Ange, right, for that, or they don't know how to find it, so they just randomly message you and you just get more money. Right, that's another way you can get more money. But also you will find out that what things are worth sometimes, right? So don't have things listed like super low so that you get spammed and people get annoyed that you're not selling things to them, but have things listed so that if something is like pops on your radar where you would actually go out of your map and do that trade, let's say like 20 exalts or whatever that is for you, then whenever you put that in the stash tab, people are going to message you sometimes and you're going to be like, oh, this is actually a valuable item, right? And you're going to learn what is worth selling. So what did we get on that ring? We got like fire res. So this one is probably not going to, we got the cold res, right? So this one is probably not going to be worth that much. It's worth like 30 exalts, maybe something like that. So we're just going to put it here, price it. Maybe someone will buy it, maybe not, doesn't really matter, right? But these are not anything special. But another thing you can do, so you can improve things with just like slamming exalts. You can improve things with desecrations, right? That's a very easy way to improve things. You can also roll normal items, right? So what I was doing earlier on this league, I was getting like, rarity amulet, right? And then normal. And I was getting these, and I'm gonna try on, like, let's say we try on 3 of them, and I was, I would grab like all the amulets I had. I would get like 10 amulets, right? And I have, I think, in one of my VODs on Twitch, you can go and see, like, and I invite you to come. I've been streaming recently. You can come to Twitch and see how I do this. But I've been grabbing these white bases and then grabbing perfect transmutes, perfect augmentations. These are just like, I drop them in the maps. I don't even know how much they're worth. Another trick you can do is click on stash tabs and on Ange quickly, and then that way you can open both. So I can see how much these are worth. These are worth like 1.3 of them is worth, so they're slightly cheaper than exalted orbs. Okay, now we know. So you get the transmutation, you spam that, you get the augmentation, you spam that, and you look for T1 modifiers. This one is nice. This one has rarity. Ideally you would like rarity on a prefix. If you hit rarity on a prefix, that's a jackpot, because then you can put the essence on the suffix. But yeah, this one is pretty trash. This one is pretty trash. This one is rarity, so that's decent. We can get the greater or perfect regal. Again, you want to know, I don't even know what they're worth. So let's see, perfect regals. They're worth like 10 exalted orbs. So I would probably just use a greater regal. Maybe on this one I should have used the better one, but yeah, we don't get anything special here. So if you don't get anything really good, then you can use normal exalt. If you get something decent, then you can use greater exalt. If the greater exalt is cheaper than the omen, then you use the omen. I don't know if I have the omen here. Greater Exaltation, right? So this Omen currently is worth 3 Exalted Orbs, and Greater Exalt is worth also 3 Exalted Orbs. So if the Exalted Orb is more expensive, then you use the Omen, and if they're the same, then you can just use this. And usually you want to leave 1 affix available if you don't have like any specific plan for the items, or you can still desecrate it. These are nothing good. We can just basically vendor them. They're useless, or you can just like 3-1 them or something, right? That's another thing you can do if you want to keep the base and have another try at this. And basically that's how you craft stuff, right? And a lot of the time you're not gonna get anything great, but sometimes you're gonna hit big and you're gonna have like really decent items. I don't know if I have anything like worth selling here. Like for example, I crafted these boots recently. I found boots that had T1 Rarity and T1 Life, and they were magic, right? And so I crafted Greater Exalt, and then I crafted Greater Regal and slammed with Greater Exalts, and this is what I got, right? So by picking up the higher tier bases and knowing which bases are good, knowing what people want, knowing what modifiers are valuable, like such as rarity suffix on boots, very, very valuable. This is like top roll T1, so people really care about that. Chaos res, people really care about that. 35 movement speed, people really care about that. Evasion energy shield base, very good, very popular right now. So you want to make sure that you're crafting on your items so that you learn more about the game and learn what people care about and what is valuable, right? So that's another thing I'm doing. The rest of the uniques, for example, there's a lot of uniques that are very cheap. So if you look at these uniques, and you can like price check them and see what they have on them, but most of these are going to be basically worthless. They're like worth 1 Exalt or something, and 1 Exalt is actually probably less than, or worth, yeah, Chance Shard is actually less valuable now. So you might as well sell the item to the vendor for gold, or you can disenchant the item and get the Chance Shards. Sometimes if they have a lot of modifiers, they give 2. Yo, I can't even click. There's so many people spamming and buying. Or you can just turn them into Chance Shards and then sell Chance Orbs in bulk, right? So let's see. What did Ange bring me? Okay, we have some stuff, some items sold, right? This is just like, you know, couple minutes of putting bases and we get like hundreds of exalts, right? So you turn them later into divines, and then, you know, you can liquidate everything else that you want. The way I liquidate things is I typically go page by page. So I basically go through here and I'm like, okay, I want to sell the annuls, right? And then let's say how much are annuls and exalted orbs. They are right now 1 to 16. And then if you want to be like more advanced and you want to like min-max a little bit your currency, you can also check the ratios of chaos to exalts, and right now you see it's basically 3-1. So if the annul sells for 16, then we're expecting like 5 chaos, right? We're expecting this to cost like 5 chaos. So let's see, if we go to chaos, this costs about 5 chaos, and that is expected. If it was like 6 chaos, then we know, okay, sell in chaos, right? Instead, if it was for example exalts, right, that were the higher, then we would sell in that. Let's see, maybe divines, right? So divines, this is like 12-1. 12-1. So 12 annulments to 1 divine. How many exalts do we get for 12 of these, right? So if we do 12 times 16, I think, right? So let's see. So that's 192. So 192, and then when we look at the divines, that is 183. So it's actually better to sell in the exalts, right? Because selling in the divines, we're getting 185, and selling in exalts, we're getting 192. So we determined what is the best thing to sell, and now we can just go ahead and list it for that. And you go currency by currency, you can just control click and get them all in here, and then look for the most valuable thing. You click through all of these, you go row by row, then you go to your maps and you're like, okay, do I want to list maps? Okay, I have a lot of maps. You can maybe go to TFT, sell them in bulk. These are the ones that I'm actually buying, but if you're not buying, you list them and sell them. The next thing that I'm selling is going to be tablets. So I have a lot of tablets, and these tablets, what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to alch them all. So I'm gonna maybe show you the process of selling tablets, okay? The way I go about it is very, very straightforward. So I type whatever. First I ID'd, unID'd. Then I alch all of them. So let's just alch all of the tablets. If you want to be like super nitpicky, you could maybe like search first for the valuable ones, and then if they are then valuable modifiers, then you regal them instead. But this is just a quicker way of doing it. So we have that. Then we're gonna search for the valuable modifiers. So for example, like ritual, and then for rituals, let's see if there is anything really valuable. So we have pack size is decent, but nothing else. Magic monsters, reduced tribute. The reduced tribute, I don't know if that is worth anything. Favors cost, blah blah blah. Chance to not cost tribute. So this one is like 30x, so that's the normal price. And then we have increased tribute and appear sooner. So these are just like basic ones. What you're looking for is like omens, right? If it says something with omens, or if you can like reroll additional times, those are the valuable ones. And then other than that, you can look for example, rarity, rare monsters, and then what is it exactly? Like number of rare monsters and rarity of items. And I think that's gonna be like, yeah, this one has effectiveness, rarity, breaches spawn rare monsters, chance to contain additional breaches. So this one is like a really good tablet. If we look at all of these modifiers, maybe without the 3 breaches and without the extra rare monsters, this one is like 1 divine. If I look at this, yeah, so this one would be like a tablet worth 1 divine. So what I do is I go to, okay, stop spamming me, people, please, thank you. I go to like my tablet tab, and I put this for 1 div. So I put them on the right side here, and the stuff that's on the left side, I have it listed for a really low amount of currency. So I usually, what I do is I grab, I'm gonna show you on this tab so we see the new ones, but what I do is I basically go first through all of this, look for the high value. Then what I do is I grab everything else, and all the other ones I list for, let's say like 49 exalts, right? And I'm gonna like list all of that for 49 exalts, and then so after a few hours, some of them will sell, some of them will not, and the ones that will not sell, I will take out and type 29 exalts and put them all for 29, right? So like in here, these maps for these tablets for 9 exalts, they didn't sell, so I can do, for example, 4 exalts, right? And I can just dump them all, right click them all, and all of these are repriced. So I must reprice in bulk for everything so that I don't have to read, right? And I'm not losing much money, because, you know, it doesn't matter if I sell for like 50 or 45 or 30, whatever, right? If it's like roughly in the amount that it's worth, that's cool. So what you want to learn is the most valuable modifiers, where like the divine plus tablets are found. So those will be like some ritual modifiers. There's going to be some abyss combinations and some breach combinations, and then also a generic combination when you have like effectiveness plus rarity plus rare monsters together, and that's going to be really good. And so you look for that, and then you list them for a good price, and then everything else you just list it for like a bulk price of like, you know, 30 exalts or whatever you like. And then if it doesn't sell, you grab them all, relist for 20, you grab them all, relist for like 10, and then grab them all. If it doesn't sell, you either list them for like super dirt cheap like this I have here for like 4, or what you do is you grab 3 to 1, right? So you can just grab 3 of the same tablet, and then you identify them, and then you see if there's something good, you can exalt it. If not, you can 3 to 1 it again, or dump it, or vendor it, whatever you like, right? But that's another thing you can do. So tablets, that's the next thing. Then we have splinters, right? So with splinters, again, you want to make sure that you look for the best way to sell them. So for me, I gotta close this, I guess. So for me, I like selling these in divines. Last I looked, it was a pretty good price, so we can list for like 200, right? So 200 for a divine, and we get just a bunch of divines. The next thing that we have here, I have my own tablets that are separated based on like different things that I'm doing. Then I have some white bases, so I was thinking like this might be popular for chancing later, so I was holding on to these. Delhi, you can sell these again, of course. You can just double click this, currency exchange, and just look, okay, these are like 12 to 1. So if it's like 12 to 1, that's not really valuable. Let's see if I upgrade them. Let's see if this is worth anything. Again, like 13 to 1, so this is worth nothing. So Delhi, not very valuable to farm right now. Essences, I'm not sure which ones. Can I double open this? Hello? Why can't I? Okay, there we go. Maybe I should have them further apart. Again, essences, you just go through the essences and see what's even worth listing, right? Okay, this one is for 59, 63 actually. So you list that. Essence of Opulence, this one is worth like 36. So we can list that as well. And you just go through them and list them all. This one is worth like 7. And whatever is valuable, you just get that currency. So that's another thing that we're getting money from. The next thing, what do we have here? We have essences. So we have these things, right? We have all of these socketables. So these socketables, I don't even know like half of them, but you just click through every single one of them and you see what's even listed, right? It will automatically pop up and show you like the basic ratio, so you have like a good idea, right? So I know if I click on this, okay, worthless, 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 like 3 exalts, right? Might as well sell this. Someone is selling this for 8, right? So I can list this for 7 and I'll get that money. What else do we have? Flasks. One thing that I do also is I list charms. A lot of people don't bother listing charms, and that is a big mistake. They're missing on a lot of currency. So what I do again is I identify all of these, then I grab greater transmutations and greater augmentations, and we go back to the tab. I can type random thing, because if I type something random, then the highlight of what is clickable is a little bit more visible. So we're gonna just click on all of these that are normal, and then we're gonna augment all of them. So we get some modifiers. And again, this is gonna be a way to mass sell items to get a lot of currency. So I'm just gonna grab all of them into my inventory. And then we're gonna go to Ange and we're gonna grab this. And you can see there is some missing because some of them sold for 49 exalts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them sold for 49 exalts. Now I can grab all of them and relist them for like 29 exalts or something, right? And a bunch of them will sell. So here, again, I can do this and I can list for 49 exalts, and then I can just right click. If I have something valuable, someone will find it and buy it. And if I don't, then they won't. And this is actually a worthless one. So that's another thing you can list in bulk to make a bunch of currency. Abyss stuff, okay, I have a bunch of Abyss stuff, I don't even know. We have like Omen of Echoes, Omen of Light. I'm actually gonna be using these, so I'm not gonna sell this. Collarbone, no drip. So these are, again, you can just open the Ange and list them. I'm gonna be actually using all of them, so I'm not gonna be selling that now, but that's another thing. Omens, of course, especially if you're doing ritual. Omens, typically they go up in price as the league goes on. You can see people just keep giving me money. Omens are very, very useful, so make sure that you know which ones you want to be using. Save them. Like I want to be using Chaotic Monsters, I want to be using Amelioration, I want to be using Corruption. So I keep these because they typically go up in price, and then you sell everything else that you don't need. Breach Catalyst, again, That's another big thing, right? You can just grab all of these catalysts. If you right click, then you're gonna get all of them together next to each other, right, in stacks, and then you simply sell them at Ange. So tool catalysts, I got like 14 of these, so they are selling for 5. So what is it, like 10 for 50, right? They're selling for 5, and then we have like 4, and then for 5, so that's gonna be 20, right? So I suck at math, and we still have it all listed. So we just list all of that stuff, and again, it's just currency, just continuously coming. We're gonna list them later, but I want to like go through this quickly so I don't waste your time. I don't actually have any jewels. I don't pick them up anymore from the floor. They're not really worth the time. Jewels, if you run T16 maps, and especially if you get like the +1 areas and you run them irradiated, you're gonna be dropping a lot of level 20 gems. Level 19 are still worth like 5, right? So 2, 4, 10, they're still worth something. So we still get a bunch of exalts. What else do we have? We have expedition stuff. I don't really farm expedition this league, but again, these things are worth. If we look at logbooks, these are like 80 exalts, right? So we can go here and list them for 79 exalts. There we go. That's some more money. What else do we have? Relics are very valuable. I'm not running Sekamas, even though that was my plan for the league, but I don't. These are not worth picking up. I removed them from my filter. If you look at like Exalt, they're not really being listed for Exalt or sold for exalts, so I don't have them on my filter anymore. But if you want, you can pick them up and sell them for like, I think they were selling for Val Orbs, like 3 Val Orbs to 1 or something like that, so you can just get a lot of Val Orbs or whatever they're worth. That's another thing. And then we have just my random stuff, uniques and stuff like that. So that is basically how I am making currency, right? I am listing all of this stuff, and then I look up at Ange and I right click all of that stuff, and I got a bunch of exalts, right? So I don't know how many, we got like 1,000 exalts and a few divines in the time that I've been just like explaining this and not even listing 10% of what I have here. But this is gonna be what I'm gonna do now after this video, and I encourage you to set up your loot filter properly. Stop like moaning and bitching about like, oh, GG buffed loot, like there's so much loot. I literally cannot keep up with selling things. You notice I have like a bunch of this shit because I just can't keep up selling it. Like every now and then I think, oh wait, I also have 100 of these things, and then I just go and list them all, right? Like, and then I forget, oh wait, I actually have like 1 billion things here, you know, and then I just sell them. Like today I was like, oh, I actually have like fucking, where are they? I actually have a lot of, you know, charms, right? And then I listed them and I made a few divines selling the charms, right? And it cost me like 0 effort, right? I just put them all for the same price, just right click all of them into the tab, and then later lower the price, and it's a very, very consistent way to make money. So as you can see, nothing that I got here is like crazy rare expensive drops, right? Nothing here is like, holy shit, how did you get that, right? Everything is like basic as fuck, like guaranteed drops, guaranteed bases, guaranteed like low currencies and stuff that you can use yourself to just modify like basic items to improve them and find basic things. So that's how you make currency in this game, right? If you want a map, if you want to make currency, you gotta learn what people want, and then you gotta pick that up from the ground and you sell it to them, and you try to do it efficiently. So you do it in bulk, and you don't just run 5 maps and then do it again, right? Like typically what I do right now, I buy like 60 maps, like 60 T16 maps, and it's actually faster for me because I got specific mod requirements and I want them to be T16s, and I don't give a fuck about T15s, so I want to sell all of my T15s, and so I just buy them. I buy 60 of these maps. I buy a bunch of tablets, right? So I buy like 10 tablets, so I can run like 100 maps with the tablets that I want. Then I also buy the unique tablets, right? So I bought a bunch of Grand Designs, a bunch of Visions of Paradise, and I do it all at the same time while not even trying to farm currency, right? So I can still sustain this. I can still sustain spending a lot of money on these tablets and these maps and these unique tablets, even though I'm not focusing on farming currency, and still on top of that make enough profit so that today I can go and buy 150 divine chests, right? So that's gonna be my plan. I wish you the best of luck. If you get some good lucky drops, that's gonna of course help you, but you can really consistently make really good money. One more tip I can give you: if you're doing the temple, okay, if you're doing the Val Ruins temple with Atziri, the best strategy for you is going to be by far farming Atziri, right? So I actually have here some stuff that I can connect. Let's see, we can do this here, we can do this here, we can do this room here, and we can do this room here. Okay, so now we can do it. This is what you need. You need to have the architect at some point so that you can get the royal access chamber, and then once you have the royal access chamber, you want to make sure that you have this connected with a road, right? You need to have a road next to the series chamber, but then you can have a room connecting to the royal access chamber, and you do a bunch of rooms, royal access chamber, and then you kill Atziri, and you just rinse and repeat. And to protect this path, you make sure to place shit like close to the end here, so that these things are protecting this rest of the path, right? Because if this cannot despawn, then this cannot despawn, right? Because if it despawns this, then this is now hanging in the air, and that's not possible, right? So it's not gonna do that, right? So you want these chains, ideally you go to the end, you have like a long corridor, and then you start putting rooms in a pattern like this, and that's gonna protect this, and then you simply spam Atziri. And you can get Atziri every like 3 temples or so, and it's gonna give you consistently a few divines with a chance for a jackpot of like many divines, like 100 div jewels and chest pieces. That can be really crazy. So the league mechanic is actually rewarding. Anybody who tells you that the league mechanic is not rewarding doesn't understand it. Don't listen to them. You can spam Atziri. So it's just basically minimal effort. You're not supposed to like go and be like, oh, depot or maybe tier 2 automat. No, that doesn't matter unless you want to build a Giga Juice temple. And if you want to build a Giga Juice temple, then you got to learn even more. But that is like a high effort thing that's going to probably take multiple weeks to set up, and then it's going to be super rewarding. But on the base level, if you don't want to invest like super huge amount of time into the temple, you don't want to worry about that. You just want to farm Atziri. So learn how to rush Atziri, and you just do maps, and then every now and then you go into the temple, run Atziri, and that's it. And you just get extra bunch of divines. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing like 4 Atziris a day easily, and it's very nice, consistent like loot, and it's a very cool fight, even though she dies in 3 seconds, but it's still really cool. So that's what I would recommend. And that's it. Good luck, and see you guys next time. Bye bye. Bonus content. Okay, fine. We're gonna do Atziri. We're gonna do a quick run the temple, and see if we get any massive drops. We can get like this jewel that I have, which is like, I bought it for like 60 divines, and then later it became like 100 divines. Flesh Crucible with some really good stuff. There's one for like 2 mirrors. Do I care about the guardhouse? I think I want to actually make sure it can despawn. So we clear it up, and we go in the corridor. And actually I wanted to test something. I wanted to test if you can do Atziri, and then if you can do Architect after Atziri, and get Atziri chamber like immediately, Royal Access chamber. I don't know if that's possible. I haven't tried it in that order. We're gonna do the Automaton Lab because this gives +1 upgrade medallions. That's a good one to get. So I can try to get my parts. Okay, there we go. +1 medallion, like we said. Now we got this boss. He can give me something here. Val Infuser. No medallion from this guy. We gotta go around now. And again, all of this, like number of monster packs and increased item rarity, like early on, unless you're building a Giga Temple, it does not matter. Do not worry about that. Just rush Atziri, figure out how to rush Atziri and how to protect your path to Atziri, and that's it. Nothing else matters unless you want to stack like super Giga Temples, which requires a lot more effort and a lot more understanding. Because later on you can like do crazy scaling. You can probably build like a 1000% increased XP temple, which I'm gonna try to do this league. I'm gonna try to build a 1000% increased XP temple with some pack size and effectiveness. I think you have to wait right for this animation. Because this room scales other rooms, right? So it increases the effects of other rooms, and then other rooms can have increased effect just by being higher tiers, and you can stack a lot of them, and then you can just multiply shit. So you like multiply the multipliers. Alright. We got Atziri, hello. Respectfully looking. Yeah, let's see if we can do architect after her. I'm clicking. Now she becomes a snake. Then she gets eaten by a giant beast. This thing grew since we saw it in Ogam and shit. And then later with Jamandra. We get the medallion, and then after the medallion, I think you have to see this animation. I don't know, I tried to like open the chest and I couldn't open the chest, maybe I was misclicking or something. I think you have to wait for the blood to go from these to this. Okay, we got a spear and Atziri's impatience. How much is that Atziri's impatience worth? Don't really see. And then the spear, how much is that worth? Let's look at the rolls. This is worth 5 divines. And then core destabilizer, ancient infuser, Val infuser. Unrewarding league mechanic, by the way, guys. Unrewarding league mechanic. Oh yeah, I wanted to do the guy. Oh, I can't even. Okay, he's still here. Where do we go? Okay, we go to him this way. I mean, this room is still here. The royal access chamber is still here. So I guess you can't get Atziri. You have to like have one empty temple in between, I guess. But we're still gonna do architect. Why not? Alright, what does he have for me? Any good medallions? Increase maximum capacity. Alright, fine. I mean, we wanna grab all of these so that I stop getting them. And here I just check for the uniques. Add sex site, I don't know what that is. Don't care. And that's it. And let's see how much money we made. So the spear is like 5 divines. And then how much are these other things? In this unrewarding league mechanic. This thing, I got 3 of these. They are worth 30. So 3 to 90. I have 3 more. So we say 6 to 120, right? No, 180. 180, I think. Yep. So we got this. Then we have Ancient Infuser. That is worth 23. And then we have Core Destabilizer. That is worth 38. So we go 37. And then we have Atziri's Impatience. And that is worth 33. So yeah, guys, unrewarding league mechanic. You can't make money this league. It's doomed. It's doomed, guys. It's doomed. We have to be poor. Nothing we can do unless you watch this video and apply everything and just get rich and buy whatever you want. So good luck. See ya.